gentleman from the 32nd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Separation of powers. That's an interesting comment in the last speech. It seems that the only power that the Democrats are interested in separating is the legislative power from any decision-making in the state. I mean, they don't seem to be interested in having any oversight over any of the federal funds, because apparently they don't think that we should have the power to do that, that we should just let the governor do whatever he wants, spend it however he wants. And then on this resolution, it seems that they want to just say, well, even though the statute clearly gives us this authority, the statute's referenced right in the resolution itself, that we have the authority to direct the Department of Justice to do things like this. Either house can do it. The governor can actually do it. But either house can do it. So we don't want to follow the statute there. But earlier today, we had members from the other side of the aisle saying, you can't pass a law to change a law because the law says you can't. Which it took I'm usually the only one paying attention in here, and even that was tough for me to follow. So, but now here we have where the law actually says that we can do this. But, well, we should just worry about the separation of powers this time. But even, it's really something. So this resolution comes because the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader sent a letter to the Attorney General and asked him, on the behalf of the people of this state, to enter the lawsuit that a bunch of attorneys general around the country have started against the federal government, saying, you know what, federal government, you don't have the right to tell us we can't cut taxes for 4 years. So if people vote against this resolution, they are in essence saying that they think it's okay for the federal government to tell states how to run their budgets and how to tax their citizens. That is just fundamentally wrong. The founders of this country didn't set up a system where the federal government could just say to each state, you can't raise taxes, you can't raise taxes, you can't cut taxes, you can't cut taxes. The 10th Amendment is very clear. Nowhere in the Constitution does it talk about their ability to tell us how to run our budgets and to tell the people of this state how their state government, how their representatives in their state government can set the tax rates higher or lower. So I know my friends on the other side of the aisle, they don't like to cut taxes. That is well established. And we can have that policy debate, but this is where that policy debate should be happening. It shouldn't be coming down from on high out of Washington with a bunch of politicians in Washington saying, sorry, Wisconsin, you can't cut your taxes. It's just fundamentally wrong. So the Attorney General pretty much ignored the request from the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader, doesn't want to protect the interests of the taxpaying citizens of the state that he's elected to serve. So we thought we'd help him out a little and say, no, actually, this is important. And by the way, this is important if you love raising taxes, like I know a bunch of people on the other side of the aisle do. Let's turn this around. What if the Republicans were completely in control of D.C. and the Democrats were in control here? A scary thought, I know, my friends, but just play along. And they said, you can't raise taxes ever again. Your tax rate right now, that's what it is. Imagine a world in which the federal government had the power to tell duly elected representatives like us that that the decision making on the tax rates to raise or lower, in our case lower, in this case lower, isn't up to us. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around why anyone would think that that is a good precedent for the federal government to set, and why we shouldn't fight back on that. And we should fight back on that. And I hope the Attorney General takes this seriously and that he fights back on that. He fights back on this on behalf of the people of the state of Wisconsin, because to put our budget in a situation where we've been so responsible with the way that we've budgeted, to where we have surpluses, even through the pandemic and the governor trying to destroy the economy, and it still made it, and we still have some extra money around. Shouldn't we be able to send that money back to the people who paid it in the first place? Well, not according to the federal government, and not according to anybody who's going to vote against this resolution today. So I'd encourage everybody to vote yes on this. Again, this is about the power of the elected people of this state and the people of this state through those representatives to determine for themselves what level of taxation is appropriate at the state level and not be told what to do from Washington, D.C. The vote is definitely yes on this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question before the body is adoption of Assembly Resolution 16. Lady from the 20th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just could not let this moment